Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, and today I'll be reading an Arlecchino listener by me, so let's get into it. The soft hum of the House of the Hearth filled the air as he finished tending to one of the younger children's wounds. They had tripped while playing outside, their knees scraped and bleeding. He had reassured them it was nothing too serious, carefully cleaning and bandaging the cut, all while telling a silly story to keep their mind off the sting. There, good as new. But no more running around the stairs, all right? He said with a smile, tying off the bandage, and the child nodded, their wide eyes still watery, but filled with trust nonetheless. Thank you, they whispered, their small voice tugging at your heart. All right then, go play, he said, giving them a gentle nudge toward the door, and he ran off, the earlier tears forgotten, and you stood to clean the small mess you'd made while treating them. Blood stained your hands and the edges of your sleeves, but you thought little of it until you heard the heavy, familiar sound of boots approaching. Moyan, Arlecchino's voice called sharply, the kind of tone that made your heart skip a beat. You turned to see her striding into the room, her eyes narrowing as they locked onto the blood on you. Arlie? You started, but she was already closing the distance between you, her gaze intense and worried. Are you hurt? She demanded, her hands gripping your shoulders as her eyes scanned you for injuries. Why are you bleeding? Her concern caught you off guard, and it took you a moment to process her question. I'm fine, you said quickly, placing your hand over hers. It's not my blood. She froze, her grip loosening slightly, but her eyes still searching yours. What do you mean it's not yours? Whose is it then? One of the kids. They tripped and scraped their knee, and I just helped patch them up. You explained, your tone soothing, and Arlecchino's shoulders relaxed visibly, and she let out a breath she must have been holding. You could have said that sooner. You scared me, she muttered, though her voice had softened, and you smiled, gently squeezing her hands. Well, to be honest, I didn't think you would jump to conclusions so quickly. Her lips pressed into a thin line, a faint flush coloring her cheeks. You're covered in blood, Wyon. What was I supposed to think? You chuckled softly, reaching out to brush a stray lock of hair from her face. Maybe you're supposed to think that I'm resourceful and quick on my feet. Her sharp glare softened at your teasing, though she still looked a little bit unconvinced. Well, you should have told me. What if it had been something serious? It wasn't, and I would never hide something serious from you. Don't worry. You assured her, your voice warm, and she studied you for a moment longer before sighing, her hands sliding from her shoulders to rest on your arms. I hate seeing you with blood. It, well, it unsettles me, she admitted quietly, and the admission and vulnerability in her voice made your heart ache. She was rarely so open and honest, and she rarely let her guard down, even around you. But moments like these just reminded you of how deeply she cared. I'm sorry I worried you. I'll be more careful next time, he said sincerely, cupping her cheek with one hand, and she leaned into your touch, closing her eyes briefly before opening them to meet yours. You'd better be. If you keep scaring me like this, I might have to watch you carefully, she said, though her tone held no real bite. And he smirked, letting your thumb trace gentle circles against her skin. You already watch me like a hawk. Not well enough, apparently, she retorted, her lips quirking into a small, reluctant smile. And the tension in the room eased as she stepped back, her gaze flicking to the blood-stained cloth on the table. So, the child. Are they all right? She said, her voice turning back to her usual calm, commanding tone. Oh, don't you trust me? They're perfectly fine. I cleaned the wound, put some bandages, and they were more scared than hurt, really. It wasn't anything serious. You said, and she nodded, her expression softening. That's good to hear. You handled it well. That's high praise coming from you, he said, earning a quiet scoff from her. Whatever you say, she said, though her tone was warmer now. She stepped closer, wrapping an arm around your waist and pulling you against her. Just be careful, all right? She murmured, her voice dropping to a softer tone, and your heart swelled at her words, and you leaned into her embrace, resting your head against her shoulder. Well, you've got nothing to worry about. I'll do my best. You promised. And she held you tighter, the steady beat of her heart grounding you. That's good to hear. Because I mean it. I'll keep an even closer eye on you from now on. She whispered, and you smiled softly against her shoulder, the warmth of her affection washing away the tiring events of the day. Because in the end, no matter what happened, you knew you'd be fine. Especially if you had someone worried about you in the way that she was. Which was definitely something you were recently discovering with each passing day with her.